I was just checking the Discovery. I don't really check it very often. And there was an article I was just reading. And I was going through it, and some things really made sense. And then one thing came up, and I'm like, I think I need to address this. Yes, the article is obviously supposed to be entertaining, but it's saying the customer's not always right, and they're going on. So you know what? I put the rally cap on because it's story time.
On a time not long ago, when people wore pajamas and lived like slugs.
So a few years ago, I was still managing the restaurant, and I went to another restaurant, and I was just eating, and I knew the manager, and he came over, and we were talking. He goes, well, you got to hear about this customer today. Yeah, so the customer ordered their food, and from the server, and the food came out, and he got it, and there was something on there they didn't like. And he told the server, oh, this is what I expected, and, the server said, well, that's what you ordered, and they went back and forth. And then they came and got the manager. They got me. So this is when he's supposed to tell me that he came in and did the right thing and saved the day. Here's what he did. So I went over, and they told me it's not what they wanted. And I opened the menu and said, look, it's right there. You ordered it. And then they told me that they didn't notice. And so they expected me to, take a percentage off. I was like, I'm not going to take a percentage off. It's right in the menu. As he's telling me this story, this is my face on the outside. Want to see my face on the inside? Because I get it. I understand. The business wrote it in there and the customer read it wrong or didn't read it. I get it. I didn't get into it with him. I just walked away. But I'm going to do a little, I'm going to ask you rhetorical questions and you tell me what you think. So let's just assume that they read it wrong. Let's agree they read it wrong. So from now, what is the goal now moving forward? If you were the owner of this restaurant, what would you do? Would you say you read it wrong, so unfortunately you're going to have to pay for the meal because it wasn't our mistake? Or are we going to assume that mistakes happen? They may have read it wrong, they may not have, and just push that aside and move forward and make them happy. So that's the management ownership dilemma. Here's the customer's perspective. Put yourself now in the shoes of the customer. Which option would make you happier? Which option would make you return more often? Because I've said it before. I said it's now a marketing opportunity, in my opinion. And I was watching a Gary Vee episode tonight that also inspired this. And in the episode, he was talking about doing what's right. He said looking at the macro versus the micro. So the micro is looking at, they read this wrong, they need to pay. And by looking at this from a macro perspective, if you blame them for not reading it properly and you make them pay for it, they're going to come back much less, if not never again. Now to put this into a non-hospitality, non-restaurant perspective. So the goal is to make them leave happy so they'll talk about you in a good way. And if you run a business or you're in a business culture or you own your own business, whatever, you want to make sure people leave happy so they can tell everyone how awesome you are. So when you leave them with a smile. Or like George Costanza says, leave them on a high. Are you smiling? Are you on a high? Yeah? I'm out!
People should smile more. I'm not saying there's nothing to cry for.